If I had a quarter for every one of these greater than thou influencers that got called out for their poor behavior, I'd have more money than TikTok Creator Fund ever gave me. Ebony Warrior, Justice Bear, or whatever that Native American person was, and now Joey Swoll, dude. Joey Swoll, who's known on a consistent basis for calling people out for being kind of, like dicks, but at the same time has also been kind of questioned when it came to who he chooses to call out, because a lot of times the people he calls out are women, and also on top of that, women of color. But at the same time, it's mainly women that are filming themselves in gyms. So I guess the barrel of apple also has a few pairs. You're probably gonna end up with an apple when you reach into it. That's all I'm saying. But now dude, this is even better. Now he finds himself in deep shit because of something that he didn't even originally do. Then he ended up doing something through that thing, and now he's acting like he's the fucking Joker, bro, and then everybody just wants him off the face of the earth. But before we get into it, I'm Mr. Person, your substitute for the day. I talk about whatever I want to talk about, like my substitutes used to do, and you may or may not learn something from it and walk out the class thinking, oh, that was a great use of my time, or why the fuck did I even come to school? Am I allowed to curse this early in the video? But if you enjoyed this video, please like down below, subscribe if you want to see more, go back and watch my other videos, and I hope you enjoy. Peace. I don't understand the fragility behind these people. I feel like they build up their own sense of moral value over time the more they call people out. The thing is, the more you call people out, that doesn't mean you're a better person. You're not a better person for calling out somebody else's poor behavior. And let's say if you report a crime or something, yeah, sure, we can say you're a good person. If you stop a crime or something, you're a good person. But if you're sitting, dude, in the driver's seat of your car, your super expensive, giant, obnoxious American car, if you're sitting there looking at your phone going, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, your moral value doesn't increase. I mean, sure, it's cool of you to do that. It's cool of you to show to people that there are certain behaviors that aren't necessarily acceptable or aren't necessarily, let's say, welcomed by the majority of other people. A lot of people behave in a very arrogant and egotistical way to where they just do not pay attention to their surroundings, or they have like zero social awareness skills. So they just do whatever and then bother other people. So he would sit there and call these people out. Okay, sure. And then that also helps us educate other people on how they should be behaving in public, how they should be behaving in these situations. He also commended people for being good in situations. Like if there is a gym situation, I remember a few weeks ago there was some older dude who was pushing or pulling one of those weighted sleds, and some lady saw him doing that and she gave him like a belt, and Joey Swoll was like, this is a great interaction, we should have more of this.
Absolutely love this video. This isn't the first time I've done a video on Shireen because she is the absolute best.
Awesome. Cool. But that leads us to something not so cool. Last week, Hulk Hogan died. And the Hulk Hogan death, there's a lot of controversy behind that because there are two sides to Hulk Hogan. On the one side, you have this acclaimed, legendary WWE wrestling star, a person who was an icon and an idol for many young boys and girls, and was something like a real-life superhero for a lot of them. And then on the other side of this coin, you have the people that could separate WWE from reality and knew that Hulk Hogan was a giant piece of shit. He was a giant asshole, not just because he was racist, just in general. He was a dumbass piece of shit. A lot of wrestlers agree, a lot of people, all the racist shit he did, called with the excessive use of the N-word, saying that his daughter can only date a black guy if he has money. He didn't say black guy though.
I'm not a double standard type guy. I'm a racist to a point. Yeah. Fucking weird. But then when it comes to nice people, I don't give a fuck shit. I don't care. Fucking football, fucking basketball player, to have it. If we're gonna fuck with vendors, let's get original.
And this death led to another split in society, because we don't have enough of those already, where half of the people mourned it and the other half celebrated it. Some people like me couldn't care less. The way I see it, I didn't celebrate it nor mourn it. I'm just thinking, okay, he was an asshole. We have one less asshole on the planet. Cool. One less asshole in a planet of 5 billion assholes doesn't change the asshole. It's still a giant gaping asshole that's full of shit. That's not changing anything. Well, Joey Swoll, being somebody who isn't affected by any of the asshole tendencies that Hulk Hogan had, but was positively influenced by all of the WWE acclaim that Hulk Hogan gained over the years, he did not think about this at all and was on the side of mourning Hulk Hogan's death. Now, he pushed mourning a little far and dressed up as Hulk Hogan and went to the gym as Hulk Hogan. I am not 100% certain if he did this after the passing of Hulk or of Hulk. Ugh. We're on a first name basis if you didn't know. Oh, this was a long time ago. Okay, it would have been weird if he did it on the day of, like in the week of death of Hulk Hogan, but like 4 years ago, he dressed up as Hulk Hogan cosplay, which is weird. Nobody cared when he did it then. Nobody cared about that, like, until this became a thing. Everybody cares once it's trending. People care about trends. If it's not about trends, nobody gave a fuck about Hulk Hogan until now. Nobody. Like, he was literally completely irrelevant to anybody's everyday life. But obviously, he was a giant influence on Joey Swoll on this side of positivity. Apparently, this was a very deep influence because Joey Swoll himself became this big bodybuilder type guy who was also very much into gym culture, and I could also imagine him being in the WWE at some point. He mourned the death of Hulk Hogan, and then a lot of people switched the flip on him. Flip the switch. And then a lot of people flipped the switch on him and called him out for saying, why would you mourn the death of somebody who you you would under other circumstances call out for his behavior. You would call out racists within this world or in this sphere in general. Why are you now showing condolences for somebody when he very obviously was something that you should be against, or that you would usually be against? And then Joey Swoll came back with a retort, well, and this is the dude, this is where the problems start, all right? Up until this point, it's still just like, I think he took it way too serious. I think he panicked. He hit the panic button. He hit the panic button. His moral value was so high. His own personal moral value was so high. The slightest idea of being criticized and doing something wrong just cracked something in his brain that was like, fuck, I am a failure. And he went full defense mode. Because that's what you do. If you reach a certain level of privilege where you assume a position of defensiveness immediately. And that's what he did. He went into immediate defense instead of going, now this is also where I believe we should have an influencer lawyer. And I guess that's what social media managers, or there's another separation of content creator influencers and celebrities, PR managers. A lot of these influencers need PR managers because in this situation, right? This is what you tell Joey, okay? You say, Joey, like, Joey, no big deal. You mourn him. All you have to say is that you condemn the past negative actions of Hulk Hogan, but you still cannot ignore the influence he had on your own personal life, and you are sorry for the fact that people have been negatively impacted by it, but you still personally have the effect that you had from it. I'm not suggesting that I become one of these lawyers. There's a way better way of stating it. The first half was way better than the second half, I'll admit it. But just anything besides what he ended up saying.
If you're going to attack me, you better go after the colored athletes and the people that are black and minority that went and posted him as well.
Since he doesn't have a PR manager, or if he does, that he should fire them, he goes, I said what I said. Why don't you guys call out all the colored athletes that also said it? Where have you been the past 16 years? Where have you been over the past any time where you still believe using that term is okay? Where that term would get a pass? This gives me the feeling that he is on his phone purely to find people that have asshole behaviors. He makes his little video, then he gets off the internet. He goes back to pump and iron. He goes back to eating his chicken and broccoli, and he goes back to sitting in his driver's seat. That's what he does. He is completely unaware of anything else. We also have to reiterate, I haven't iterated it yet. Can you say iterate if you haven't said it before? We also have to iterate that he is an older millennial, I think. He's somewhere between 30 and 40. He's not on the internet like most people are. He doesn't have the internet, what's the word with the I? Interpretation. He doesn't have the internet interpretation skills that most people do. And you need to be aware, the internet, there's a whole different lay of the land to the internet. If you're in your gym talking to your buddies, you can say, look at the colored bodybuilder. Sure, I don't know what the fuck they say in gyms. I don't go. But on the internet, you can't say that. And he said it, and then he got screwed over. So he said that. People are like, you just made it 10,000 times worse. You easily could have avoided the subject completely. And in best case scenarios, dude, these influencers, the people I named at the beginning, Ebony Warrior and Justice Bear, I still don't know their name. They're both back on the internet doing what they do. Their controversies were like 2-3 years ago, maybe more. My feeling of time is horrible. I'm doing the pinky thing again. But they're back. All you have to do is, in the worst case scenario, ignore it and just come back. Or in the best case scenario, you say a little bit something to it, and then you keep ignoring it. And you just go on to doing what you did. At some point, nobody will care anymore. Because the people that do care, they never cared originally because, like I said, caring is a trend. None of these people cared about the actual true moral value of Joey Swoll until his moral value was questioned. Nobody gave a fuck. Like, what? Why? You're doing what apparently is a good thing. Dude, if we're being fully honest and fully true to the statement, his moral value was high enough to where him mourning the death of Hulk Hogan could have been excused. That part swept under the rug. Just don't mention it again. Don't talk about it. Who gives a fuck, dude? You're still gonna have your audience. You're still gonna have the people following because they don't care. It's the internet. It's TikTok. TikTok doesn't matter after 3 days. Let's do a little mind game. Let's do a little fun mental exercise. I need you right now. Don't tell me because I'm on your screen I can't hear what you're saying. I want you to go back in your mind and think about the last 10 TikToks, Reels, or YouTube Shorts. Think about the last 10 you watched and name 3 of them. 3. Okay? Try it. It's near impossible. If you can do that, you have drank a lot of green tea. Fun fact, green tea is good for mental capabilities and memory and all that shit. But Joey Swoll, he could have been in the clear, but he made this statement, said colored people, now he's in the shitter again. And at this point, you dug your own grave. The original grave was Hulk Hogan's, where he so happily rests in, thank God. Now, Joey Swoll, first, he was at the funeral, just standing there, mourning the guy, and there were people outside of the graveyard going, hey, Joey, hey, Joey, what you doing over there? What you doing? I thought we didn't like those kinds of people. But then Joey, at the funeral, he turns and hears the people shouting. He looks at the other people at the funeral and he goes, hey, there are also colored people at this funeral. Why don't you shout out them? And then he turns around, grabs a shovel and starts digging. He starts digging because he already, the shouting person on the outside of the graveyard, that's a mob now. It's an entire mob of TikTokers. And they're just waiting, dude, for that graveyard door to open up. Well, Joey's shoveling the dirt. He's shoveling and shoveling and shoveling. And then the next thing you know, he gets out his phone and he tweets, bro. This is the funniest shit, bro. I wasn't going to talk about this until I read this tweet. This shit's hilarious. All the good I've done, all the people I've helped, all for nothing. I truly hope all the people I've inspired to do great things in their life and pay it forward to help others and carry on my message. Does that make grammatic sense? But no matter how much good you do, people just wait for a reason to hate you and tear you down. They weren't waiting, bro. You brought that on yourself. We weren't waiting. Nobody was waiting for Joey Swoll to be a bad guy. Nobody. And then, dude, this quote is just like people using red pill in the Matrix, bro. Originally, it was one of the best things to ever been created ever. Like, whoever wrote that was an absolute genius, but now it's being used by incels and highly fragile people who are just completely out of their lane when it comes to if they're actually, like, guilty. Like, it's so forced self-guilt. The self-guilt and self-pity, this has become the #1 self-pity motto. You either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. Thank you for your support. I am done. Joey, please don't Hulk Hogan yourself. It's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep. The grave you dug is deeper than the situation, bro. Calm down. Stop it.
Get some help.
Another YouTuber said that he worked on building his body strength, but not his mental strength. His mental strength is in the absolute gutter. What kind of kindergartner I lost in chess, now my life has no meanings type of shit is this? All the good I've done, all the people I've helped, which is just proof that I was right about his having his own moral values skyrocketed in the air. All for nothing. It's not all for nothing, bro. You being a bad person, not even a bad person, dude. You doing a single bad thing doesn't erase all the bad shit other people did that you called out. That bad shit still happened and will still continue to be bad shit. You just happen to do some bad shit too. Oops. Oops. At this point, what? Bro, calm the fuck down. It's not that deep, really. I mean, yeah, you're kind of racist, but which white person isn't today? I'm sorry. That's not a surprise. We're not surprised anymore when white people are racist. Okay. Psh, dude, the president is fucking racist. Hard racist. Most people on his cabinet are hard racist, bro. We're not surprised. Sure, Joey, dude, you could have made fun out of it. Like, you know me, white people saying colored. That's just what we do. Oopsie. Joey, you literally could have done an oopsie. You could have just... You do it on one of your lives with all the protein powders in front of you. Oops. I did what white people do. Oops. I did what middle upper class white people do with my big obnoxious car and my big house, and my life has no meaning anymore. We'll fall. Lay my grave. It's all cuddly and warm. What he's waiting for, dude. Let me tell you what he's waiting for. What he's hoping for right now is for him to get an invite from some. Oh man, I just pissed myself off thinking about this guy. I just pissed myself off. Watch him be the next guest on Andrew Schultz's podcast. God, I hate that man so fuck. Dude, I watched this today while on my computer. I watched a video talking about Andrew Schultz's podcast, and while watching it, I heard Andrew Schultz say something that was so incredibly stupid, which is not the first time. Most things he says are incredibly stupid, but today it reached a level of stupidity that my stupidity meter in my head was like, it just broke, and I was like, I cannot think about this man anymore. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear people talking about him. He is such a waste of space and a waste of time, but he is the place people go when they're absolute failures and need to be pushed to the forefront again. Because that's his whole thing. He builds off of cancel culture, and all cancel culture is. Cancel culture isn't even a thing from the canceler's side. The people canceling people, they don't like, what do you mean cancel culture? Nobody, you can't ask them, hey, are you part of cancel culture? And they'd be like, yeah, like that doesn't happen. The only people that are part of cancel culture are the people that got canceled. And since Andrew Schultz's whole thing is, you can't cancel me. I wish you could see my legs when I do that, dude. I'm fucking like little hobbit legs. He's gonna be like, who got canceled next? And he's gonna have them on the podcast. Joey Swoll is gonna end up on some center-right, zero accountability podcast that will push him into a right-wing manosphere type of shit, dude. That's the only path now. He mourned somebody racist, then he did something racist himself. He's going full self-guilt, full self-pity, full fuck me then, I guess. Everything was for nothing. My life has no meaning. He's gonna go somewhere where he's gonna find his meaning, because he's not gonna find it with his original audience anymore. He's not. They're all gonna be like, okay, you're done. But there's still an audience. There's still a portion of that audience. Dude, you can't tell me. If it's true that he mainly targets women of color in his videos, you know there is a broad, huge part of his audience that are white dudes that are excited for black women to be called out. They are excited for black women to be degraded and demeaned. They want that. So he has his audience. How many followers does he have? Dude has 8 million followers. Bro, you're fine. Fuck off. Ignore it. Keep doing what you're doing, dude. Who gives a fuck? Really, it doesn't matter. People at this point in life, I'm hitting a new pose on this one. At this point in the lifespan of the internet, people should know that it doesn't matter. And I mean that in a general term. The internet does not matter, because guess what? Here, think about this, right? If the internet as a concept turned off right now, immediately, what would change? What would change? And I don't mean the internet as a functionality, as a tool. So don't say shit like, yeah, well, cars will stop working and the clocks will stop working and you can't go shopping. No, all that shit as a functional tool, the internet is still existing. As a communicative tool, if the internet stopped right now, nothing would change. Because it don't matter. Like I said, those other people that got canceled, they came back a couple years later. Joey Swoll, he could have came back next week. Say, hey guys, I'm taking a break. Take a vacation, bro. Take your giant obnoxious car, drive to wherever the fuck you are living closest to. Probably, preferably without colored people in your case, I guess. That's how you would phrase it. And go hang out there at like a local swimming pool or whatever. Do that, dude. Just take a week off. Fuck it. Come back, doing whatever you did. Ignore all the comments. Don't block them. Don't delete the comments. Don't reply. Do what you're doing. Don't let it get to your head. And everybody else who's bothered by this, don't dwell on him. Don't go to his comment section harassing and spamming and whatever. Why? He has 8 million followers. This is you. This is you right here. This is you in Joey Swoll comments. You're a bad person. You see how tiny this is on the screen? This is you. The rest of the screen are the people that are going to keep following him, okay? That don't care about racism. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. The vast majority of them are assholes, okay? But this is you. Fuck you, Joey Swoll. This is Joey Swoll. I don't give a fuck, you colored person. Dude, this is just hilarious to me. This is funny to me. I don't even know what the fuck. Ugh. Bro. Yeah, no, he should just take it on the chin, bro. He should just take it on the chin. Because now what's happening now is like the worst possible outcome of this whole situation. Which, I mean, based off of how he wrote that with I am done, I mean, it may be the worst possible situation. Actually, I hope he just means with his content creation. And that's saying, like, I don't even think he should stop making the videos. Now, if he just keeps going, the only thing that he has is like a smudge on his reputation. That's the most harm done in this. Like, I don't think he hates black people. That's not my assumption. He used a term that was outdated, bro. And if he's not in circles or on the internet or in places where he's being consistently made aware that that's not the term that you use, he's a white older dude. He grew up in a time where colored people was still socially acceptable. And I'm not saying that it was always socially acceptable by everybody, but it wasn't condemned the way it is now. Like, that's a recent thing. A lot of these things that we condemn now are still recent things, and people need to adjust and learn. You need to adjust to new age ways of doing things. Even if it's good or bad or late or try harder, blah, blah, whatever, we still need to give that space. These are all still new concepts. These are all still new things. Racism isn't new. The term colored people being derogatory isn't new. It is new to white people. It is. And you see that it's new because of how many racist white people there still are. And like I said in a previous video, if we don't call them out and use it as a teaching moment to teach them to not do that, then they're just going to get worse. They're going to end up on right-wing spaces and they're just going to become hardcore white. And they're just going to become hardcore white ringers? Sure, dude. Fuck it. Hey, this is the outro. It's an update to what's going on. It's been a couple days since I recorded this. It's been a couple days since the whole incident. And while editing this, I was looking to get the screenshots and footage that I mentioned in the video. And while doing so, I saw that Joey Swoll actually posted an apology video.
I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I immediately apologized to everyone and said I would never do that again. You know, my whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable and doing better. I would be a hypocrite if I didn't hold myself to the same standards. I am human. I am still growing. I am still learning. And I promise all of you, I will do better.
Now, his apology video is just like any other apology video. I did something wrong. I'll do better in the future, right? Okay, sure, I'll give it to him because it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an outdated term, whatever. The comments are, of course, flooded with people either saying, well, it's too late, Joey, you're over with. People making fun and mocking the people saying Joey Swoll is over with. And other people saying, you should just be racist. Just completely just go. Somebody wrote, are you caving to the black woke mob? You did nothing wrong. Everybody's like, you did nothing wrong. There's a middle ground. There's always a middle ground. He did do something wrong and he can correct his behavior and do better in the future. Both of those things are possible. We don't need to have an exile of this guy, but we also need to push him onto the forefront and boost his previous poor behavior. Why can't everybody just be happy, guys? And these people, the people that want him completely off the face of the earth and the people that want him to be the next Superman, those people, they only want that so that the other people are annoyed and bothered. They themselves don't care. Either way, that's just how it is. But yeah, since this is the outro, I forgot to say this while recording. If you like this video, please like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace. Dude, did I just see that correctly? Why is this dread sticking out like this? Am I getting a connection? Is this 60 hertz? Is this 5G plus LTE? What is going on here?